It's a great honor to have so many vital voices from the European UAP disclosure movement here with us today. This Ubiquity Summit is about amplifying the disclosure movement's impact beyond national borders or cultural differences that we have here in Europe. I want to thank the global disclosure community for promoting this event. Channels like Ross Coulthard, Vinnie Adams, Hollywood, Disclosure Party, Alien Contact, ICER, Exo Magazine TV, Skywatch and UFO TV Actuel, and the Czech UFO conference in November have come together and supported this event. UAP disclosure is not just an American affair. It is now an unstoppable global process that invites every nation on Earth to contribute their piece of the puzzle in understanding this phenomenon in the face of which we are one species, one planet.
The real threat is not a UAP, but how we are handling them in the silence, in secrecy, and throughout geopolitical competition. So, in Europe, we should have the courage to take different paths, more aligned with scientist inquiry, exploration, and international collaboration. It may even signal a profound cultural shift.
Yeah. Thank you, Massimo. We're also joined by your colleague Sabrina Pieragostini.
Yeah.
Sabrina, are you with us? Let's see.
Hello.
There you are. Great to see you, Sabrina. Sabrina, you're also the vice president of Luna Nova, focused on communication, but most importantly, you're pretty famous in Italy. Many people recognize you when you go to the supermarket because Sabrina is actually, she has actually over 30 years of experience at Mediaset, Italy's biggest private TV group, where she was an anchorwoman and later the editor-in-chief. She's widely respected for her depth and responsible UAP phenomena mainstream news reporting. So, Sabrina, from what you heard here today, what is your sense of the situation of speaking openly on TV about UAPs, like, for example, in America on News Nation? There's a TV channel that streams hearings and all that. Is that possible in Italy? That's something you think is coming, or what is your sense of that?
So I believe that in the Italian press, but in general in Italy, at a political, social, cultural level, there isn't a real interest in the UAP issue and in the disclosure of this topic. If we were in a hospital and disclosure were a patient, I'd say the line is flat. Or better, maybe disclosure was never born in Italy. No one talks about it in the government, in the institutions, in the media, except the few like us who are interested. But what are 5 or also 10,000 people out of 58 millions of inhabitants? Talking about media, everything that is happening in the United States, the new whistleblowers who have come forward, the new initiatives of the US Congress, everything had a very small coverage in our media. A few articles, mostly online, and with an attitude negative or very critical. And the Italian press always approached the UFO or the UAP issue as a ridiculous, a comic topic, and this attitude hasn't changed. And so Italian journalists, when they are forced to talk about the topic, never do it in an objective or impartial way, but always with a skeptical and also a snobbish approach. For my personal experience, when I could talk about the UAP issue for the national television I worked for, I was considered a bit strange, a bit bizarre by my colleagues. and I could talk about this topic as long as my bosses, my editors, consider these topics not important but useful for ratings. Instead, my last boss thought that UAP were a silly things, so he cancelled my TV program from one day to the next without even notifying me. That's the situation.
Wow. Well, that's pretty concerning. And do you think the stigma in Italy is connected somehow to the Catholic religion as well? Or what do you see there?
So, interesting question and difficult answer. I think that in Italy, the influence of Vatican is very strong, and not only from an ethical or moral point of view, as it should be, but unfortunately also political and social influence. Even if some Catholic theologians in the past and the recent years have addressed the alien issue in an interesting way. For example, some years ago, the Vatican newspaper, Osservatore Romano, published a story entitled "E.T. is my brother," written by the man who at the time was in charge of the Pope's astronomical observatory, Father Funes. I interviewed Father Funes, but he didn't repeat that sentence, never, and he was very able as a very good Jesuit to avoid every answers about aliens and about UFOs. So maybe they talk about these topics among themselves, but not to people. And probably the current interpretation of NHI capable of interacting with us on a consciousness level is one more reason to avoid it, because there is the risk that these beings from other worlds or from other dimension could be superimposed to traditional Christian Catholic concepts. For example, if good aliens are angels and bad aliens are demons, it's a big issue, it's a big deal for the church.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Wow. And like coming to the close, now that you're head of communications at Luna Nova, how do you see the way forward? Like, what could you think should be done next to kind of help make this subject less stigmatized in Europe, like this has been done in America?
Yes, it's very difficult in my opinion. Maybe an official, an authoritative position at international level would be needed, but not in words, also in facts. If Donald Trump or another important head of state or even United Nations talk about aliens among us, maybe more than 90% of the world population would take it as a joke. They wouldn't believe it. So we need proof, we need evidence, we need scientists who come forward and show us data. We need something concrete, I think. Or we should wait for a mass sighting, so great, so amazing, that no one will be able to dismiss it. Of course, it's very difficult that will happen. And so I think that stigma will remain for many years. I'm not optimist.
Yes, it's a very interesting point you make here with the mass sightings, because who knows what it would cause if today we would have a mass sighting like the Phoenix Lights or the Belgium wave, right? So thank you so much, Sabrina, for taking the time. I know it's getting late here in Europe, but thank you so much for being here with us, and we look forward to maybe seeing you in the panel later. And now I am actually very honored to introduce Robert Fleischer.